pressure in the second half was absolutely relentless. Plymouth didn't have a sniff of the City goal, and in the end it was an O'Reilly back post header that made it 2-1, and then a De Bruyne prod over the line that made it 3. No question that the better team on the day won. And I'll tell you what, it was a terrific tie, and we must pay enormous compliments to the visitors from the Championship. The final score, though, City into the FA Cup quarter-final. City 3, Plymouth 1. Well, let's go back to the studio where we can get the thoughts of Peter Reid, of Andy Morrison, and Chris Latchem.
Thank you very much, Ali Mann and Nicky Weaver. These are great scenes at full time. Miron Muslic, the Plymouth Argyle boss, and the Plymouth players can hold their heads high. Look at those tattoos, blimey O'Reilly. They can hold their heads high after a terrific showing. They'll need every inch of that in their battle against Championship relegation for the rest of the season. There they go in clap. Was it 8,000, Peter Reid?
Yeah,
the travelling Green Army. They've travelled really, really well. They were chanting halfway through that second half with the game at 1-1. Argyle are massive everywhere they go. And look at that, a massive, massive turnout. And a good day for Plymouth Argyle, but ultimately an even better day for Manchester City. It took them time, but they got the job done. As Pep said pre-match, there's a job to do, go and do the job. 3-1 win, and they're into the last 8 of the FA Cup. Andy?
Yeah, I think, listen, you're looking at the stats, we were just talking about it, you know, when they've wore them down, haven't they? You know, when there was little moments of when you're looking for a little bit more quality, that could have probably put the game to bed a bit earlier and made it a more comfy afternoon, but I mean, the job's done. The stats say that, you know, it's the right result, but huge credit to Plymouth, you know, because they defended for their lives, and they can carry that now for me into, you know, the Championship battle, just try and stay in there. Great credit they must take.
Yes, they must. Look, we applause from Pep Guardiola for the travelling Plymouth supporters there. That's nice to see, as well as he's now clapping all 4 corners of the Etihad Stadium. Good turnout from both sets of fans. Obviously, our fans watching this are all Manchester City fans, and they'll go, no, do you know what I would have liked? A Salford 8-0 win from the third round. But it doesn't always go that way. For the neutral, they'll have watched that and gone, this is a great tie, because the team from the division below were in it right up until maybe the last 10 minutes.
Hey, they beat Brentford and they beat Liverpool, and they've come here and they've put on a real good show, real good account of themselves. Argyle fans, the Green Army, should be proud. But City, they're a different level, if we're honest. You know, control the ball, possession, and in the end, they wore Plymouth Argyle down. Rightly so, but City have got that much quality, you know. But it's good the O'Reilly, the young kid, gets 2 headers, and he kept on going. But City were always going to win it at half time. I thought the equaliser was really come at a really important time right in the game.
Time, yeah,
really, really important. But like I said, Argyle can only bowl their heads up high. Like you rightly said, relegation battle for them, that's the most important thing, stay in the league. But Man City, another own drawn, you never know. Wembley again.
You never know, you never know. They've had lower league opposition in the 3 rounds so far. They've come through all of those obstacles, beaten Leyton Orient in the 4th round by 2-1. 3-1 win today. The stats from the game, you said you were expecting 85% City, almost.
80 to 85.
80 to 85, okay, you're in the ballpark. 73% Manchester City. In terms of weight of expected goals, how good the chances were, 4.45 expected goals for City is more than they eventually scored. Plymouth only had the one shot. Yeah. The one shot that was on target did end up in the back of the City goal, and ultimately they had that lead for a short period in the first half. Some great memories for these Plymouth fans to take home.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and they can all travel back down, you know, the motorway, extremely proud, and the players proud, yes, and the manager. But what's important is they put us to bed very, very quickly. You know, as an Argyle fan, I'm talking about, you know, the next game now, Hull. You know, how they can pick themselves up again, re-energise, and make sure they're ready for that game when it comes. But yeah, I mean, there was a period around 55-60 where City started running for throw-ins and picking the ball up quick, and free kicks, everything was done. And it's so difficult to maintain, not just the physical side of it, but the emotional and the concentration is relentless against City when they're going left to right, left to right, left to right, you know, and very, very difficult to manage that throughout. And you're going to give up opportunities, and City had many, but the keeper had a fabulous day. We missed a few. But as I said, I think it's the right result.
Yeah, Conor Hazard did have a good day in goal for Plymouth Argyle. Let's focus on Manchester City and their performance. They had lots of chances. Gundogan hit the inside of the post. Kevin De Bruyne almost caught the goalkeeper out. We had a brilliant view of it when he tried to whip one near post from round about where the corners are taken from. But ultimately, the first 2 goals came from a different technique for Manchester City. It's not quite route one, but it's set-piece football, and the tallest guy in their team scored the goals, Nico O'Reilly.
Well, they're important in football. I mean, listen, when you score a goal, doesn't matter how you get it. Can be the most flowing football, brilliant. Only counts as one. Same as a header off a corner. So they're important. They win you things. And, you know, City have come up with the goods. And to be fair, he's a big lad, got a great spring on him, and he put him away really, really well.
Yeah, the other thing I was thinking when I was asking the question, I wasn't framing it in the negative, actually. I was wondering whether Manchester City should look to today and go, OK, well, there's another string to our bow. We've got Nico who can come in and can nod
I think,
set pieces.
You know, they have been inventive on set plays, and I've been impressed with some of the array of set plays over the season. But this year, it's just eased off a little bit, and I think it's down to the amount of games. When they come, you don't really get a chance to get on the training ground, and I think and work on that area when you're just trying to maybe a 45-minute, a quick 50-minute session before the next game. You're travelling back. You don't get the time to put the detail in. But you've seen the importance of it today, you know, because without them goals, you know, it makes it a really difficult afternoon, and they are a huge, huge part.
Well, all the big clubs nowadays have got a set-piece coach. Haven't they? You know,
I mean, Aston Villa's set-piece coach gets more TV airtime than their coach.
Exactly.
Every time they get a corner, they pan to him with his long hair.
He's got a job with Belgium as well. So it's not bad, is it? No, they're so important. If you go through goals scored over the years, before the Premier, FA Cup, League Cup, anything, the amount of goals of set plays, dead balls, is massive. Massive, and it'll never change.
No, it will never change. But let's reflect on the third goal that City scored. It looked like Haaland was going to get it. He broke behind the defence, onside, had the shot on target. You've already mentioned how Conor Hazard played in goal, denied him. But Haaland showed a different side of his game to recover from the disappointment, get his head up, and threading an almost De Bruyne-like pass to feed De Bruyne for the goal.
Once I think it went through Kadic's legs, or was it Maxi, one of the 2 centre-halves, and just threaded to, and just the movement, you can't block that movement off, and you can't track that run. And when the ball's perfect, as Haaland put it in there, you know, it's a simple tap-in, and it just makes it, you know, a little bit more of a fairer reflection of the dominance of City today, who were very, very good in periods.
Yeah, 19 corners to 1, I think it was the final stat. They had nearly 30 shots on goal to Plymouth Argyle's 1. The other stat, and Ali mentioned it in commentary, is that Kevin De Bruyne coming into this game, since his FA Cup debut nearly 9 years ago, or just over 9 years ago, no one's been involved in more goals with goals and assists. He was on 26 beforehand, bless you, he got 1 assist for Nico O'Reilly, and he got the goal as well, so he's moved it to 28. His numbers are ridiculous in this competition.
Yeah, he's a special talent, isn't he? We've been privileged to watch him now over the last decade, coming on towards a decade. Just an incredible footballer and such a servant to the club. And long may it continue, you know, because the rest of this season, and who knows where it's going to go from there. But whatever's said and done, you know, we've been privileged to watch an exceptional player, one of the best that I've ever seen in a City shirt.
Yeah, absolutely right. What a player! Enjoy him for however long he's going to be here. What a player. Now, I've just been told Manchester City are going to be ball number 7 in the draw for the quarter-finals. So you can ring that one in your little diary and book it in your diary for tomorrow. So Manchester United's game after that is the draw. I don't know an exact time for that for you, but we'll find out tomorrow. And City have joined Aston Villa, Preston, Crystal Palace and Bournemouth. Feels like a winnable FA Cup. They've won it before. They've won it more than a few times.
Trophies are what football's all about. You've got to win trophies. Pep is a serial winner, as we all know. He'll want to win the FA Cup, no doubt about it. And when you look at the teams, if City do it right, I think they've got a really good chance. Really good chance.
Yeah, so the quarter-final ties are to be played at the end of this month, end of March. First game back from the international break. Just thinking about the season that City have had, Andy, and, you know, we can't sugarcoat it in any way. No longer in the Champions League. Premier League seems out of reach. Carabao Cup, the final is going ahead without City in it. Does this now take on added importance for Pep, as Peter makes the point? He's a serial winner. He's not going to want a season without one in the cabinet.
Yeah, I don't know. And I mean, it's cliches, and I'm probably pointing out the obvious, but it's the next game. Pep, he has to win the next game of football, and then as a combination of them games, and that amasses a title or gets you to a cup final. But it's always about winning games of football, and of course, it's in many ways with the standards we've had for a period of time now. It's a disappointing season not to be challenging for the title 4 in a row. On the back of the treble, and where we always go into the depths of the Champions League, but that's not the way the season's panned out, and you still got to be the best version of you and make sure that you get every single game and get to a cup final if it's a possibility, and it is a possibility. We're looking at that bench today. We spoke about that. It's incredible, the strength now when we've got everybody back. We'll see where Nathan is with his little knock that he's picked up today. But it looks so powerful and strong, and so many options and different ways of playing.
Yeah, worth pointing out, if you're just joining us for the post-match, Nathan Ake was hobbling at the end of the first half, went off for Ruben Dias at half-time. So we'll have to wait and see when we hear from Pep next about exactly how that injury is. We hope for the very best with that.
The FA Cup's massive, a trophy to win. You as City fans, yeah. Well, I think Andy alluded to it. Champions League place, just as important.
Yeah.
You've got to get in that top 4. You've got to do it. And if you've got the FA Cup and the trophy cabinets as well, it's a good season.
You bring me very neatly to our next point. So the next Matchday Live is the early kick-off on Saturday, and it is a biggie in that push for the top 4 to qualify for the Champions League. It's away at the City Ground against Nottingham Forest. That's going to be 3rd against 4th, Andy, which is just, it's mouth-watering, isn't it?
Yeah, and we keep asking the question, how long can Forest keep producing the results that they are? It's the fairy tale story of the season for me. Some people even predicted they might even struggle with relegation. But they put a great team together. There's pace, quality up front,
strength with Wood,
physical strength, and they're quite happy to sit in a deep block and play counter-attacking football with no expectations on them to dominate the ball. So in some ways it's a free hit for them, but very, very good outfit. And they probably look at what they happened here with the 3-0 win when we ran all over them that night and want to make that right. But yeah, as you said, it's a huge, huge game.
Yeah, huge game. Just 1 win in 5, so they're actually hitting one of their barren runs in this excellent season that they've had. But you've already mentioned Chris Wood. It's a battle of almost the old-fashioned number 9s, isn't it? You've got Erling Haaland up top for one team and Chris Wood for the other.
Well, I don't mind that. I think if you've got a big centre forward, as I still call him, I think it's an asset. You know what I mean? And whatever you say about Haaland, when he comes on, he causes problems. Yeah. He causes problems. I mean, some of the runs he makes, and the balls don't come, certain ways, but he makes some great runs in behind people, on shoulders, always getting in there. Always getting in that position to score. The keeper made a great save off him. It was brilliant, but it was his desire to get in there to score a goal. I love centre forwards who love scoring goals, and Haaland is up there with the best. I mean, I can't believe some people question him. I'm going, do me a favour.
But even the sclaff shot from Foden from the edge of the box goes straight to him. He's always moving. The ball seems to find him. Yeah. And, he could have had a hat-trick.
And he came on in the 58th minute.
Exactly. So the last half an hour, and he could have had 3. But that's what he does. Get balls into good areas, and Haaland will score goals.
Yeah, as he has done ever since he joined this great football club. So Matchday Live is next Saturday on air at 11:10. Natalie Pike's going to be presenting. Kit Simon's Mark Crossley with us. He is hilarious. So you won't want to miss that. Kit Simons is pretty funny as well, but Mark Crossley, he tells a story or two, let me tell you that. So that's next Saturday, 11:10. It's not the only big thing next Saturday as well. The 8th of March is also a celebration in Manchester of International Women's Day. And there's a new campaign for Manchester City in collaboration with another one. We're going to tell you all about it now. Championing female-founded businesses alongside City players to highlight that anyone can make a difference in this world. Check out this preview of the next episode of the Footballers and Founders podcast.
I think I've always described football, the job, as a hobby that got out of hand. Because when you're playing it as a kid, you're just playing the game for fun.
So what's it like being in a team? Because we run our teams, but you guys are in a team.
I think we all have the same goals, and we all want to push each other.
Everyone in themselves is a bit of a leader in their own realms.
What is your greatest achievement?
My business, Plant Made, was a part of the Sunday Times 100 fastest growing businesses in the UK.
Being awarded the Queen's Award for Export.
Awareness building stuff that I've done around like mental health and sign language.
Signing my first professional contract this year.
Amazing.
Just getting paid to do what I was doing last year.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying about the hobby getting out of hand. What has been your biggest challenge?
Managing people. Sometimes I feel like the school mistress.
Yeah,
Telling everybody what
yeah.
you've got to do. But you know, it's about making everybody feel part of the team, and nobody is any better than anybody else, including myself.
Yeah.
Not knowing what I don't know. I'm a first-time founder, haven't had a lot of business owners around me. Only recently, it's been great to hear their stories like, oh my gosh, I'm not alone.
When I was younger, my toes were in like professional football, and also at school was trying to find a balance between those. Thank you for coming in and speaking and sharing your experiences. To find the overlap where kind of sports and business collides. And
We all started with a dream, and they'll definitely learn, like, if you put your mind to it, they can achieve it.
So I said podcast series. It's the Footballers and Founders series that the Manchester City and Buy Women Built collaboration event takes place at Diecast next Saturday. That's the 8th of March, 10:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. And you can find out more at mancity.com/cityxbwb. You can get yourself a ticket today. Right, before we go, let's just reflect on a couple of stories from today. So Manchester City have got the job done. It was pretty hard going at times, even though they utterly dominated the game. Plymouth, they dug in and they made a real cup tie of it. What is your hunch, Andy, with your green allegiance, with Plymouth's uphill battle to stay in the Championship? Have they got the tools to do that, do you think?
Yeah, they have. I firmly believe it. They've got a way of playing. They're very, very difficult to break down. You haven't got the same quality in the Championship, so there's no reason why, but they've got to get wins and they've got to score goals. It's very, very close down there. 7 points from 9 will get you clearly out of it, but you're always going to be... It's going to be a battle right till the end of the season. And where they were sort of 5 weeks ago, I think they would have snapped your hand off to be where they are now, with it still in their hands, firmly in their hands to go and stay in the league. And they got my full backing.
I guess they've got to use days like this as fuel to the fire.
I think a couple of times I've seen them on TV, and I think watching them today, I think they've got a spirit about them. The players, they covered for each other, they got back, they put the yards in, and it looks a happy camp. Supporters behind them, so I think they'll stay up. It's going to be hard. Make no mistake, it's going to be hard. But I think they've got enough to stay in the Championship.
OK, well, we shall see over the next couple of months. Final thought is, what do you think Pep will have learnt from the last 90 minutes or so that will strengthen his elbow for the next couple of months before the end of the season? There's a trophy still on offer. There's a top 4 fight to be had. Yeah,
I just think he'll be looking at his bench. I think he'll know he's got the players around. The availability now. Still a couple of injuries, with the centre halves and that, but he'll know there's enough there now for him to be able to change in games and go and win every game of football from now till the end of the season. The personnel there, the goals are in there. There's a bit more rhythm. Tottenham, I thought in the first half we were exceptional. Today, you just seen them little patterns. You look at Doku and Savinho, who are so effective in the last couple of games, and they're not involved today. Marmouche, who gives us something different. So he's got to be excited when you've got that behind you, and things ain't going our way, we can change it. So very, very positive going forward.
And McAtee got a hat-trick against Salford in the 3rd round. Nico O'Reilly's got 2 today. The youth are knocking on the door as well.
Well, that's half the battle. If you've got young players coming through and you've got... It's more of a squad game now, but you've still got to have that competition to get in the team. Desire to get out there to say to Pep, listen, I'm playing well. You've got to get me in this team. And I think when you get that, you'll have a successful football club.
Yeah. And the big news is that Peter was going to book his taxi, weren't you? At 1-1. And I said, not thinking about extra time. And he went, I won't book it. So your taxi's not going to be here for a while, is it? It's going to get held up in the traffic.
Hey, listen, it's been a brilliant, brilliant day. I've seen 2 of my old clubs in what was a wonderful cup tie, and good company.
Average company.
Good
company. We'll take it, won't we?
Brilliant.
We'll end on that note.
Take
Great.
care.
Really enjoyed today. Thank you very much, gents. We will see them again. We'll hope to see you again. But I'm going to leave you with this, because there's a new documentary coming to City Plus, and it's a good one too. Life After Football. It features 2 of our very favourites to join us right here and in our other studio, Nader Manua and Steph Horton talking about life after football. I might, when we go off air, talk about your life after football, which continues. And it airs on your screens next week. Here's a little preview. We'll see you next Saturday.
All you've ever been taught to do is to be a footballer.
Steph Horton has announced she will retire from football.
When it's gone, you know, you're never going to feel them feelings again.
How far does your identity get you when the thing that you did for so long isn't the thing you can do anymore?
Suddenly your career changes literally overnight, and I was fearful.
Whatever you do in life, you'll get nothing like scoring a last-minute winner.
Hopefully I can find that happiness in whatever the next chapter is.
Fernandinho, realmente você tem uma lesão grave?
Pensar certinho para ver qual que é a melhor decisão a se tomar, então.
Sozinho ninguém consegue porra nenhuma. A gente vai conseguir juntos. Todo mundo junto.
I think for some, they love the game so much that they'll do anything they can to be part of it for as long as possible.
Football is a bubble. You'll finish this bubble, you will be proud about what you do, but you have another life.
It's one of the best decisions I made.
Why not be able to push yourself as much as you can?
Buenos días, Tiki.
¿Vamos a ver pronto dirigiendo o no?
Si aún te gusta, no lo dejes.
E o que você mais sente falta no futebol?
There's no guarantees in football.
The problem is the schedule.
We never know what's going to happen today, tomorrow.
Without doubt, one of the best moments was that moment when I knew I wasn't going to play again.
O Fernandinho vai continuar a jogar.